Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, and we are live right now on an international broadcast, broadcasting to all four corners of the world. Guys, what we're going to be doing here tonight is I really want to talk about the checkup from the neck up. Okay, the checkup from the neck up. Okay, now, what you'll find when you're the CEO of your business is that you have to be testing and tweaking everything that you do. Okay, so in other words, if you're doing X amount of conversations on Facebook chat and you've got X amount of people going to the video and you've got no results. Okay, so I've talked to this amount of people want to see the video, and nobody's joining me. Okay, it will be stupid to keep on doing that pattern, right, if it's not working. So what could possibly be the segments? Okay, the first segment is that you haven't gotten that person either emotionally connected to their dream, their passion, their vision, and you haven't gotten any leverage, right? So you haven't identified any pain factor for that person, so that when they're looking at the video, they're looking at the video like it's something that's going to either solve their problem or get them closer to their dream. Okay? So if you haven't done that, when they get to the video, they're not looking at the video with the same set of eyes and ears, right? That the other person that's doing close, 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 close. What's different? What's different about those two scenarios? The front end, right? The front end. So have you been able to, first of all, are you even stepped into your power when you have conversations? Okay, because if you're weak, right, and you're on an energy portal, people can tell, right? It's the intuitive thing. So if you're a person, as an example, that says, Darren, every time that I get on to chat, all I get is pitched. Okay, that's this. Okay, that means that your power over here is not strong enough, and you've got blockers internally, right, with money. So you've got blockers coming in, and all you're thinking in your mind is the commission, the commission, the commission. I got to make commissions, commissions, commissions. I got to recruit commissions, commissions, commissions. Okay, and so this person comes in like bam, 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 bam. All they're getting now. What's your recourse of that? Well, my marketing plan is better than your marketing plan. My ORAC value is better than your ORAC value, right? Now you're in a fight like this, right, on who's got the best thing, right? You don't want to do that. So in the event that you come in as a clear emotion, guys, if you're having issues with your internet, either get to a place where you have steady internet or just watch it on Earn 25K per month, because we're not going to have this pop on, pop off, pop on, pop off. If you don't have a clear internet line right now, you're not involved. Okay, so just exit out right now. Stacy, if you've got an issue with your internet, either get to a stable place or watch it on Earn25K per month.com, please. Okay. Okay, so basically, you've got to be clear. Now, what do I mean by clear? Guys, I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to get through Unleash the Alpha Within and do those 5 simple steps. I can't stress it enough to you. If your dream is not that important to you, don't worry about it. Okay? Don't worry about it. Take 10 years to do it. Okay? But if you want to turn your life around in 30 to 90 days, where you'll never have to worry about money ever again, get through those 5 simple steps. Okay? Now, I will tell you this. The first thing, if your vision board does not look 3-dimensional, okay? So in other words, if you look at the vision board and the first thing that you see is this and this, okay? That's called the rectangle syndrome, the checkerboard, right? Right away you have not gotten it. Your eyes are not seeing in 3 dimensions. So if it's rectangle, 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 you haven't got the concept, okay, of creating a puzzle that's meshing together with these shapes and then getting the thing right through. So you've got to be able to reach your arm right through that to the other side, okay? Now, I will tell you that most people that start this process, their eyes have to kind of adjust, okay? So when I say to a person, that whiteboard is a hole. It's not a flat surface. So imagine that whiteboard goes into a white room. So you can reach your hand right through into the white room, okay? That's 3-dimension. And it takes the eyes a while to adjust to depth, right? So if something is close to you, it's big, right? If something is far away, small, okay? That's the difference. So, you know, a lot of people will start their vision boards and they put down their foundation in checkerboard, 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 and the eye can only see that now. The eye's now going like this and like this, right? So it doesn't have that gateway feeling. It doesn't create that. The other thing is that if all of your things that are close cropped are all the same cookie cutter size, that will only be one distance. Okay, so if I want to create 3 dimensions, right? 3 dimensions, part of my objects in the front have to be bigger than something that's right here, than something that's right over here. They all have to be different sizes to give you that sort of dimensional feel, right? If I'm close, I'm here. If I'm further away, I'm back there, right? So there's got to be these different sizes, otherwise it's going to go boom, flat. Now you stopped right there because everything's all the same size, okay? So when you're working on your vision, you really want to realize that the secret, okay, the secret to creating your reality, the secret to the equation for manifestation is thought, directed emotion that generates feeling. Okay, that's the secret, okay? Now, it works for everything you want. It works for everything that you don't want. So as you move forward into your dream, you've got to be very, very aware of this. So if you go, how do I feel? And you go, I feel like depressed. I feel nauseous. I feel awful, right? You got to backtrack now and say, what was I just thinking about? Concentrated, focused thought starts to trigger into the emotions, into the physiology, and out to the electrons, okay? So one of the reasons why it's so important for that 3-dimensional vision board to look like you can walk right through it is that it will affect your physiology in your body. So when you look at it, your mind is going to go and then goosebumps, right? That's the goal. So if you're looking at your vision board and you stare at it and your brain doesn't go right through to that horizon line, you haven't achieved the goal. Okay, it's not working. Okay, so I can tell you that Lorna, that did the one that I showcased now for all of the students, you'll notice that her together like a puzzle shape. They're puzzle shapes coming together. Found some basics, and then she morphed the two in together in some areas so that you don't have checkerboard, 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 checkerboard. That won't work, okay? And your brain, your subconscious mind, is only going to see a screen, right? It's not going to see a reality, right? And unless you're looking through a broken window that's chopped up like this, right? So it doesn't work. Now, Lorna, by the time she adjusted her eyes, now keep in mind, guys, this is a process to be able to have your eyes look at that white piece of board and visualize a hole into a white room, right? Now, if you follow the Matrix, when Neo meets with Morpheus in the white room, right, that's where anything that you think about can become reality, right? So they needed some weapons, and it was just like he thought about it, it was like, right, to infinity, right? That's the concept. So what you've got to understand is that your eyes have to be able to adjust to distance and size and shape, and then within this flow of the infinity. So if I have something coming from here, it's going to come in. From here, it's going to come in out, right? So within that flow of energy, okay? Now, I will tell you that as we start to, open up this gateway, okay, when you open up the gateway here and you open up the gateway in the time continuum, right, in the vortex, what can happen in this next evolution of your own personal growth is that you also open up this direct to source, and you may start hearing quotes, like universal quotes, right? And downloaded information that starts coming into your brain. Okay, now what I will tell you, when that first started happening for me, I thought I was going crazy. I didn't understand it, right? It wasn't until I started to get further down this rabbit hole that, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? So I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can use as your, I call it your safety net, to close off the flow that's going to come into you, because you're going to become a channeler, right? That's where your copy will go right through you, right? So once you get the blockers done and you're clear, you'll be able to tell in your writing, you'll be able to tell in your blog posts, you'll be able to tell in your videos, because you'll be speaking from your heart, right? Direct connect, right? You don't have to think about it, you feel about it. You don't have to think about what you're going to say. You feel through your computer, you feel through your video, right? So you're speaking to the listening, right? You're speaking to your previous pain that you had and other people's pain that are similar to you, right? What got you to that breaking point? What took you to that next level into the reality? So there's two things that you can do. The first thing is to just lie down, and in your mind, you're going to trace the infinity pattern, okay? Now, once you start to trace the infinity pattern, your brain cannot think about anything else. It will shut your brain down, okay? So if you're ever in a position where you've got insomnia, you can't sleep properly, you just start tracing the infinity, okay? Just keep on tracing it, keep on tracing it, keep on tracing it, and it will start to quiet down your mind, because the brain can't trace and be conscious of tracing thoughts and racing about all these different thoughts. The other one is to close your eyes, visualize there you are in elementary school, and you're up at the chalkboard, okay, and there's all this writing all over the chalkboard, and you have an eraser, and you're just going to start to erase, and you keep on erasing that chalkboard, and it will quiet down your mind, okay? This is something that, when I was working with Dr. Poulos and also Dr. Barron, these were some of the strategies that they shared with me that really helped me out a lot, okay? Because as you're moving through your alpha training, here's what I'm going to tell you guys. You can go all in on this process, or you can be kind of go half-ass, like kind of put one little toe in the water, right? Like here's an example. Everybody knew that today was the deadline for vision boards, okay? We've been talking about it. It's probably 2 weeks now. And then I said, okay, by this date, we're going to have a vision board. Some people just started doing it yesterday and today, okay? That's not the way to go, guys. Seriously. This is the most critical part of opening up this vortex to the next level, and it takes time to get the eye adjustments down. You can't do it the first shot and expect that you're going to have your miracle piece. Okay? It just doesn't happen. The one that I showed you from Lorna, that was her 5th try. Okay, it was her 5th try. Stephen Munson, when he went through the whole alpha training, keep in mind, this is somebody that when he first started, he didn't have anything, guys. He was sleeping on the couch of a friend's house, and he said, Darren, if I have to get this thing down, I don't care. I'll keep on doing them. I will keep on doing these until I get my gateway, right? So he was prepared to do whatever it takes. So a lot of people will do an assignment, and they just want to get it done and get it out of the way, right? Because they think that that's going to be the solution, but it's not, okay? Because if you haven't followed the directions, okay, so you'll hear me multiple times over the course of the training, I talk about the rectangle syndrome, right? Rectangle, 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 rectangle. Now, if we look at the vision boards today, and I'm not going to be the one that makes the decision, I'm going to ask everybody across the panel. Okay, number 1, is there full rectangle syndrome or partial rectangle syndrome? Okay, dimensional, or does it still look flat? Okay, in the event that it still looks flat and it still suffers from rectangle syndrome, I'm going to tell you to do another one. Now, you don't have to, okay? You don't have to. Nobody is forcing you to do anything here, guys. I want you to understand that, okay? Nobody's forcing you even to do any of the homework, okay? But I can tell you this, if you want to get mentoring from me, then you're going to do the homework, okay? Because if you don't, I can't work with you because you've got blockers, and we're taking this resonance up to a higher level, okay? So probably like a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago or so, I told everybody in the group, guys, I'm raising the vibration in this group, okay? Watch and see what happens, okay? Rex Harris, 5,000, 4,000, Chad Turner, 10,000, Sonia, 1,500, and I went right up to the very top of the rise of the energy, right? The number 1 spot, right? It's not accident, guys. You can speak your reality into existence as long as you are clear, okay? As long as you are clear. If you're not clear, forget about it. You'll keep on spinning your wheels, spinning your wheels, spinning your wheels, spinning your wheels, and wondering why it's not working because you haven't popped your Pandora's box, which is right here. Okay, and I'm going to tell you this, it's going to be emotional. It's a big deal, right? On the other side of that is everything that you want. On the other side of that is all your dreams, goals, and desires. So you got to decide for you if it's worth it, right? Because I can tell you that I've seen a couple of the vision boards, and the people that have done it have not listened. They haven't listened to the rectangle syndrome, because there's rectangle syndrome all over their vision board. They haven't listened to having different sizes, because everything's the same size, right? There is no dimension to it, okay? And because they're rushing, because they just want to, oh, I gotta get it done, right? They're not really emotionally going through that gateway. And that's the key for step number one, right? So, you know, what I'm going to tell you is that there's 5 simple steps to this process, guys. 5 simple steps. First thing that you're going to do, imagine there's the wall of the matrix. You're going to go and open it up to get a gateway to the next reality, the reality of your preferred state, okay? Then you're going to speak about the reality like it already is in existence right now. But it has, right? I can say, I'm driving an Aston Martin. Or I can say, I'm driving an Aston Martin. Big difference. It's a big emotional bam. Okay? Now, remember that it's thought-directed emotion that generates feeling. So you've got to, you know, when I do my proclamations, I'm always standing up and I'm staring at the 3-dimensional portal, right, until it looks 3D. Now, when you first look at a surface, you're in this reality, it will still look flat, and all of a sudden you focus right through, okay? You got to wait for that to happen. Maybe take 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds or so, right through. Now I'm doing my proclamations, right, where I'm focused right through that vortex, okay? Now, in the 3rd step, you have to open up the time continuum, right? So you've got your 6 categories, and you've got 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. Okay, now do not open more than 5 years, okay? Trust me. If you go 10 years or 25 years, you're still battling the human condition over here, and when this rocket launcher goes, okay, you can literally implode because of deservability and worthiness. So, you know, what happened for Justin Bieber when he was, you know, a little kid, and all of a sudden he's worth 200 million, his ego went into inflation, and he just about died. That's what happens, guys, okay? The money, if it comes at you so fast, right, your body starts to go into like red alert, red alert, red alert, red, systems down, systems, red alert, right? That's what happens. So what you've got to understand about your own inner battle that's going on in here and in here, right, is that 2 things. 1, the human brain is programmed to self-destruct, okay? Accept that. Be okay with that. Just know that you need to counterbalance it with as much personal development as you possibly can to take that and, you know, take the negativity and push it down to the minimal amount, right? So that you're always looking at things in an optimistic way. You're always looking at the best case scenario, or you can still look at a worst case scenario, but it doesn't the way that affects everybody else, right? So you're not emotionally attached to the roller coaster, right? If something goes sideways, or, you know, somebody cancels or opts out or asks for a refund, it doesn't have the same sort of emotional roller coaster that it does on a regular person, because they haven't done the personal development, right? Or if some tragedy happens in their life, the person that's really positive starts to look at their life lessons that they got out of it. What was good that happened from it? What did they learn from that? Where the negative person goes further and further down the spiral and starts to blame everybody. It's everybody else's fault, and they don't look at what benefit they got from that scenario, right? So with opening up of the 5 years in the time continuum, remember that when you're going back and forth from the category to the time, if you have butterflies in your stomach, okay, you got this nervous energy, butterflies in your stomach, it is not congruent with your subconscious mind. You need to erase it and drop it down to something less. So here's an example. If I go, you know, 1 month health and fitness, 1 month health and fitness, 1 month health and fitness, and I stare at the box, and my subconscious mind says, you know, just go for a walk around the block, you know, 4 or 5 times a week to start, right? And then the, you know, the ego steps in and says, oh no, we're gonna work out for 2 hours every day, right? You're setting yourself up for failure, so don't do that. You're better off to ease into a situation and always be having growth success than to set yourself up for failure. So a lot of people will start working out and they go, oh, I want to work out for 2 hours per day. They work out for the 2 hours. Their body's hurting so much on day 2, 3. By the time they're at their first week, they're done. They can hardly even move. They can't even lift their arms up like this anymore because they're in so much pain, right? Don't do that to yourself. It's not necessary. You got a long time forward. Just start gradually making these changes and you can get into liftoff, right? So as an example, here's a perfect example. So I go 1 month financial, 1 month financial, 1 month financial, and you know, let's say that the person's making, you know, right now in their reality, right now they're making $3,000 a month, and they're working 40 hours a week to make that $3,000 a month. So they go 1 month financial, 1 month financial, and they go, I'm going to make 15,000, right? That's all their ego, right? The truth of the matter is they're better off to say, this month I'm going to make $50 3 days in a row. That's a much easier goal to be able to achieve, guys. I'm going to make $50 online 3 days in a row, okay? I'm going to make $100 online 3 days in a row. That's what your subconscious mind can believe to be true, right? So those are attainable goals that aren't going to set you up for failure, right? So in the event that you start to, you know, be able to, let's say that you went like $50, you know, $40, you know, $65, $20, but your mind is still thinking, okay, I got it $50 3 days in a row, $50 3 days in a row, right? It's much easier to get onto that momentum, to get onto that track versus setting yourself up for failure, right? So think about that when you're doing your opening of the vortex. Now, if you go to Seven-Figure Profit Maximizers and if you haven't registered, you need to register. You do need to have a Kalatu Premium blog now and the Inner Circle mindset to be able to get that $3,000 bonus, okay? And what we're going to be doing, guys, just so you know, is we're going to test this for 60 days, okay? 60 days. I already know what this information does. This is the information that took me from 0 to 12,000 a month, almost 13,000 a month, in 49 days, just at that small little level, okay? But I did do a massive amount of connections, okay? And I had 25 to 75 connections in any given day, and I figured my first 30 days, I probably had about 1,000 conversations, okay? And I'm just being honest with you. That's really what I did. So, but that got me into liftoff. Now, once I got into liftoff, now I could recalibrate, right? Recalibrate, get my new balance from where I was at, and then figure out my next strategy, right? Now, I can tell you that if you use this type of formula, right, where you know that you've got this front-end inertia to break to get past this barrier, okay? If you don't have enough concentrated, focused energy, it'll be like, oh, well, you'll never get the plane off the ground. I mean, imagine the pilot's going down the runway and he goes, okay, we're going to take off, okay, 20 miles an hour, right? You're never going to get any lift off. The plane was never going to take off, right? You crash in the end of at the end of the runway. So if you're not doing that concentrated, focused energy on the front end, you will not get liftoff in your business, okay? So what I want for you to be able to do here, and by the way, guys, if you don't have steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 done, you believe me when I tell you, you will know when you go through this 4th step, okay? because you'll be like, oh my God, this reality this is like euphoria, because everything will change. The sky looks bluer, the grass looks greener. You know, your senses are heightened. Your sound, everything, sounds, images, everything goes when you get through step 4 in alpha training. Okay, but it will be emotional, and you have to welcome that, to get those emotions out of your body, to know that's your gateway to freedom. That's your gateway to become a mentor for other people. You cannot mentor people, right, unless you're through yourself. Think about it. How am I going to get you through to deal with your Pandora's box and the emotions and everything else when I haven't even gone through, right? It's not congruent. You know, this guy reaches out to me today and says, Darren, you know, I really want to be a mentor, right? Well, he's flat broke. He can't even come up with the money to hardly even afford his monthly payment. And I said to him, if people followed what you do, what do they have to look forward to? Being broke? Like, is that what what are you going to mentor them to? You know, being broke like you and not being able to afford an auto ship? Really? You know, so you've got to get through that phase 1 stuff and get into liftoff before you can now say, okay, this is my learn, implement, share. Learn, implement, share. If you're learning and you're not implementing, you're going to have no results. If you're learning and implementing, but you're not sharing any of your results, nobody will perceive you as a leader. Okay, so remember that. A lot of people are here learning, okay? But I don't know how many people, there's less people that are implementing, and there's less people that are actually sharing their results to be seen as a leader, okay? So you've got to understand that about your own path, your own growth, your own forward momentum, okay? Because this is the thing about testing and tweaking. So you go, okay, hold on a sec. Let me just do a self-evaluation. A, have I been showing up? Check. Okay, I've been showing up. Okay. B, have I been implementing? I don't know. You got to decide whether you get a check mark there or not. C, have I been sharing my results? Okay, so how could you share your results? You could share your results on a blog post. You could share your results in a video, Google Hangout, where you're sharing the results on live screen, right? You could share them on your Facebook wall with some PowerPoint graphics, some little graphic things, right? Circle, arrow, arrow, boom, this is happening, right? And I'm gonna share my screen here in a minute to show you what I'm talking about, because that's what I do, guys. That's how I roll out my campaigns, right? So you'll notice that, like, I'm just about due right now to do another lasso with a big crowd of people, right? So I might say, you know, find out how within 6 months I got into the top 10 most income, you know, in my primary business. It's not even necessary for me to mention a company because it's generic, right? Anybody can implement the strategies and get the same results that I did, right? Because there's a cookie cutter formula. A, B, C, do A, B, C, get the same results. A, B, C, right? But if you're doing just A, you're not going to generate the results. If you're going A, B, A, B, A, B, you're still not going to generate the results. It's A, B, C. Learn, implement, share, right? So you've got to start to ask yourself, what is stopping you? What's holding you back? When you're learning and you're implementing, but you're not getting any results, you gotta start to go into here and go, okay, let's see. When I talk to people, am I feeling like I'm in my power? Am I feeling grounded? Am I feeling like I've got an energy right through my body, right down to the core, right through my feet, down to the core of the universe? Do I feel bulletproof, right? Am I coming from pitching, or am I coming from pulling information to help them and get them to the video to solve their problem, right? I can't answer that for you. you're the only person that can go through and do that self-analysis, right? So you got to say, okay, if I talk to 40 people, right, and I think that I got them to the leverage point to I know how much, what they need to get to their dream, how serious they are, blah blah blah, and I've gotten them all the way along the path, and X amount of people say that 15 people are looking at the video, nobody's joining. Probably a good idea to do a self-analysis, right? Because otherwise, why go through another 40? What's the point of duplicating the same thing? Apparently, it's broken. There's something broken in either your delivery's broken, your connection's broken, your rapport building's broken, you haven't gotten them to laugh or change their state, you haven't gotten them emotionally connected to their dream, you're not clear, right? You've got to look at the patterns, right? What's the pattern? What are the reflectors telling you about you? Because your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world, and if you're not getting the monetary gains, you got to change something in here, coming out of here, right? Your thoughts, your words, your emotions. Because if those aren't working and you're not getting the results, better do something else. Better do something differently. Better change your approach. This is what Tony Robbins told me. Darren, if you're ever doing something and it's not working, change your approach and test that. And if that doesn't work, change your approach. And if that doesn't work, change your approach. You've got to be like this laser that starts kind of like this and right through. Okay? That's the key. Okay, so before I share my screen, let's start off here with Wes. Can you, if you've got a picture of your vision board, can you share your screen, Wes? And we're going to pull it up and take a quick look.
Okay, let me check to see if I have it on I know I've got it on my phone, but if not, I know I've got it on Facebook.
And for those of you that are going to be coming up next, if you don't have a picture of your vision board that you can share a screen with, please do that now. Wes, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm looking for it real quick.
Okay, we're going to come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, Tom Selly. Tom Selly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you share your screen, pal, and pull your vision board up?
Absolutely. How do I share my screen?
On the left-hand side, there's a little green arrow. If you hover your mouse over top of the left-hand panel, and you hit the button that says share screen and then share full screen.
Got it? Y'all see?
Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, couple things. One is it looks like you did this on a computer and not with cutting and pasting. Because I can tell by the blending. So I will tell you that if you want this effect to actually work, it doesn't work doing it on a computer, number one. Okay?
Okay.
The areas that you have sort of 3 dimensions is the top right-hand corner where the balloon is to the back. That's from the ring to the balloon to the horizon there. That's 3 dimensions. Because of the fact that the ring and the watch and the bike and there's kind of a row straight across.
Yep.
What's happening is that it's not creating any depth there because the eyes fight to see which one is actually further away because they're all the same size. Now it messes up with your mind. Your mind's confused now. It can't create any distance. Does that make sense? The 3 dimensions? Okay. And then when you go down to the bottom part, you actually have car, bike, rolls. That whole level, all on there, is almost all the same sizes of things. The bike, the car, the presents, all of that is in the same line, so there's no depth there. The depth's cut off there. Okay, so it's cut off there. It's cut off down the stripe down the middle, and the plane, the balloon, and the other thing, which is the jet, which are kind of about the same width. It's the same problem there. So you've got 3 stripes of the mind does not know which to put in distance, because there's nothing dominating in size. They're all roughly the same size. So if you look at the door is about the same size. If I took the door and I put it from the beacon down to the bottom of the building, it's almost the same size. If I go from the ring down to the bottom of the building, it's almost the same size of the door. If I take that door and I put it a little bit sideways, the road with the Mercedes is almost the same size.
I see.
So the size thing is creating an issue for your 3 dimensions. And you got to cut and paste, bro. Sorry to tell you, take out the scissors and get back to elementary school here, because it doesn't work if you don't do that.
Okay, it's a deal.
Make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, rock and roll. Okay, we got Stacy.
Hi. Hello.
Okay, Stacy, can you share your screen and your picture, please? Stacy, you there?
I am. I'm just waiting for it to light up the start share screen. It's not letting me hit the start share screen.
Okay, Sonia.
Okay.
Sonia, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you share your screen? Yep.
Okay, let's see. Can you see it? Can you see my screen?
Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I just want a little bit of input here, because Sonia is probably the closest to getting some actual distance in her shapes. Okay, so the ring is way in the front, and then the plane is way behind that, and the distance between that and the horizon is even further back. So she is getting 3-dimension. So I need some input. So Wes, unmute if you can. Wes, you there? Okay, Wes is having technical difficulties.
Yeah, no,
Tom,
I'm
can
here.
you unmute? Okay.
I'm here.
So Tom and Wes, can you give me some input? Does she have the rectangle syndrome on this?
I see it.
Well, I obviously, don't have.
It's hard to see 3 dimensions when you have the rectangle syndrome, and because if you just look at it quickly, the only thing that you can see is the checkerboard at first.
Yeah.
What? Give me some other thoughts, Stacy.
In here. If it looks checkerboard, it looks like mine as far as.
Okay. Okay, Jessica.
Yep. Yeah, I'm here.
So we got rectangle syndrome, checkerboard, or no?
Yeah, I can see the lines, but mine has the same thing, so I need to go redo mine.
Okay, so my point here, guys, is that Sonia, you came pretty darn close for your first shot. This is probably one of the best first tries at this that I've seen, okay? Because you follow the directions with the horizon lines. You've got, you know, probably the area in the center where you've got the chair, the ring, the rolls, the watch, and the house. That area right there is probably the best part of the area where you have the couple, like pretty much from the ring to the car to the watch to the couple, all the way across that whole area of that vision board is bang on.
Okay.
You really got it. Okay.
It's
even the area from, if you hadn't lined up "I am my own secret weapon" straight across with that line, if you had put that on top of the line to disguise the line, then that area and even into the upper right-hand corner would have actually been good, and even down into the bottom where the Mercedes is. So you know, it's not like this whole thing is not, you didn't get it, right? Because the center section is totally 3D. The couple underneath them, see how you morph the palm trees and then the curve there down into his shoulder, and then it turned into the car?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, you totally nailed it there, right? The center section is very good, even to the stairs, you know. So the straight up line around know your own power, the straight up line with the if you kind of blur your eyes, you can see where the checkerboard kicks in.
Now I see it. I didn't see it before, but now I see what you're talking about down there at the bottom and up there at the top, going all four of those backgrounds up top as well.
Yeah, the top part's really check, 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 rectangle, 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 and that takes away from the three-dimensional thing, because the brain's trying to, you know, distinguish between checkerboards and distance, and it's hard for it to do because the brain sees in geometric shapes, right? Everything's made up of geometric shapes. So the moment that you go box, 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 then now it's hard to get the 3 dimensions. You broke that pattern in the center and onto the right and then down into the bottom. So that part's actually really good. Really good job, Sonia. Like, seriously, you really did a good job on this. Okay. Nicola. Nicola.
I did mine on an actual
Hello?
board, so I don't know if you can see.
Okay. So unfortunately it's hard to see it. Can you maybe, we'll come back to you and maybe you can take a picture of it and then share your screen? Can you do that? Okay. Jessica?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you tell me how to share my? Yeah, can you tell me how to share it?
Okay, on the top left-hand side, there is a, if you put your mouse over the left-hand side on the screen, there's a panel that comes up with some diagrams on it. Click on the second one that's green that says Screen Share, and then a bunch of squares will pop up, and you're going to put Share Full Screen.
Okay, I'm on a tablet because my computer is really slow.
Okay, unfortunately.
I got it going, just to let you know there, Darren.
I can, if I share.
Okay, go ahead, Stacy.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and can you zoom in a little bit more? Because it's hard to kind of see it. It's a little too far. Okay, so Tucker and Betty, can you unmute, please?
Yeah, I'm here.
Betty?
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, so guys, here's my question. Do we have the rectangle syndrome on this?
I
I can see rectangles. So apparently we're supposed to put something over the top of those rectangles, huh?
Well, the realities need to morph together in order for it to be three-dimensional. Otherwise, all you're going to see is rectangles. The only area that I can maybe we just mute out there because we got echo. Okay. The only area that I can see was really that you nailed it is the champagne bottle to the left and right of it with the plane, that curved line, and then down underneath it into the mountains and the hands that had come together. That area is quite actually pretty good, okay? But the rest of the area, you've got the rectangle syndrome happening there. So anyway, hopefully that gives you something to work with. I want you guys to keep in mind that Lorna did like 5, Stephen Munson probably did 6 or 7, but when they finally got them, their whole life went to a completely different level. So, okay, who do we got next? Tucker.
Yeah, hang on.
Tucker.
Please. And
the other thing I'm going to say, guys, and I mean, not to be harsh or anything here, but if you are 5 months in to mentoring and you still can't work a Google Hangout, it's because you haven't done one. That's why. If you've gone here and formula that I teach, which is learn, implement, and share, you would probably have already done at least a dozen Hangouts. So if you still don't know how to use the functionality to share your screen on a Google Hangout, it means you haven't done one. So if you're going to be a leader, then you need to do the leadership activities in order to get the leadership pay. So if you don't do the tool, if you don't use the tools, how do you expect to even be able to be looked upon as a leader? Think about that, right? Just think about that. How long is it going to be before you actually step into a leadership role to be a leader? Because a lot of people say, I want to make $1 million, right? Are you providing $1 million worth of value to the marketplace? Because if you're not, forget about it. It ain't going to happen, guys. Seriously. Okay. So who can we get on here? Sonia and Tom.
oh, but is mine not sharing? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're going to get some input, so share your screen again.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Okay, Sonia and Tom, you're up. Can you see rectangle syndrome here?
Lots of squares, yeah.
Yeah, lots of squares. However, I think in the upper middle portion there where he has the coat and like the flying balloon, I think he's nailed it there.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree. And also really experience the lighthouse coming in, that part blending in with the other thing behind it, and the trees underneath in the forest. That little area is actually pretty good. But you're right, the coat behind there to the horizon and the balloon, that area there has the most amount of 3-dimension. And if there wasn't a straight down line between stand-up, the area where you've got the guy stepping out of the boat, and then that lake behind it, does create 3-dimension, right? It's not bad. You have some of the components, Tucker, and you know you are getting the 3-dimension, so your eyes are seeing in the 3 dimensions, but you just have to work on the checkerboard.
Yeah,
It's hard to see 3D when you've got a checkerboard fight to get to it, right?
Yeah, and you know, and
Okay.
I'm thankful for this. That really, I didn't understand that fully now, but now that I see more examples, I totally understand what you're talking about. So thank you.
Okay, let's go over to Wes.
I was going to say, one of the things that I found is that if you find images that are not straight on, like they're kind of turned to the side, those work really good too. It's sometimes those straight on images they don't give you that 3D depth that you want sometimes.
Okay, so who's up next? Wes. Wes?
Yeah. Can you? Shit. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yep.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna pull it back up. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, okay. Okay, who do we got here? Tucker and Nicola. Tucker and Nicola.
Little less rectangular. They're more angled lines, but definitely a little bit of checkerboard-ish. But I think it looks really good right here in the. Oh well, yeah, I guess you can't see where my mouse is, but kind of in the middle and down to the bottom right.
Okay. Nicola?
Yeah, it's got a lot of grids going on. Would probably the sizes are also kind of the same, aren't they? I mean, I'm looking at the little icon at the bottom.
Yeah. You basically. Yeah. So you've got the boat, the watch, the car, the truck. They're all roughly about the same size. So the brain doesn't know which one to look at as being closer because of the size problem. Can you see how that works?
Yeah.
The boat, if you put the boat on top of the car, they're almost exactly the same size. If you put the watch on top of the car, they're almost exactly the same size. So the brain doesn't know which one's further away, right?
Okay.
Probably the area where you have the most amount of three-dimension is by the truck backwards. So the truck all the way to the horizon, you got the most amount of distance there. And even though you've sort of curved the line on Next Frontier, because it's coming directly from another straight up and down line right above it, you still have a checkerboard pattern there. Because of the fact that you've got a straight line right underneath the truck, you would have been better off with the truck coming over top of the orange to break the line, right?
Okay.
Can you see how that works when you look at that now, Wes?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay. So, you know, good first draft, you know, I mean, you did a good job. You did try to get some of the puzzle shapes, which is good. But I would say that you're probably going to be a lot better equipped now for your sizing, and to know that if you're going to make a curve, don't make it a slight curve. Make it so it's morphing right into something else. Because it's just kind of like, oh, we did a freehand line and we didn't use a ruler. You know what I mean? It's still a straight line, you know?
Right. Okay. I got it.
Okay. Okay, so who have we missed here? Betty. Betty.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, can you share your screen?
I can't. I don't have the board ready to share, but I've learned a lot from what this is. It looks like I've got corrections to make already.
Okay, well, let's see where you're at so far so that we can critique it.
Well, I tried to get it ready, but it's not ready to. It's not that close to being ready.
Okay, so Betty, this is really important. You've really got to make a decision here that you either really want to have success or you just don't, right? Because we've set a rule for the group that the only people that were coming onto the panel were people that had finished their vision board. The instructions were really detailed on all the posts I put out. Please only attend on the panel if you have finished your vision. Right, that was really clear, right? So it's not fair to the rest of the people that have actually done the homework when you come and you haven't done the homework, but you're going to take a position on the panel. It's not fair, right? Am I right or no?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure. I'll hang up.
Okay.
I'll hang up.
So what I'm going to put out to you is this. And you can take this however you want, Betty, because my goal is to put you into a six-figure income. The way that I can do that is if you work with the process. So if you say, oh, I was too busy, oh, I had a bunch of other stuff to do, I had this to do, I had that to do, great, no problem. Then you can't expect that you're going to get to success as fast as everybody else, right? The people that do the homework, the people that show up with their homework, they have the success. Those are the people that have success. And I can tell you this. This is what I learned from my mentor, guys, and I want to share this with you so that you guys don't go down the rabbit hole, okay? Here's what my mentor taught me. I learned this when I was in design school, okay? So when we had homework, basically before I started in design, they sat us in a room and they said, guys, just so you know, you are going to do 4 years of work in 2 years. That means when you leave here, you're going to have to go home and do work. And sometimes you're going to be up all night doing your homework. This is what my teacher taught me. Okay? You're going to be up all night doing your homework. Because in business, if you have a deadline and you don't meet it, you lost the contract. That's the truth. So when I started in business in my early 20s, I went through an intense training that was a 2-year program. And I will tell you this, guys, straight up, I did not have a life for 2 years. I had no life for 2 years, okay? I worked most nights till 12 or 2 in the morning. Some nights I did all-nighters. And if we had a deadline and you didn't get in your homework, you're out. You got to fail. There wasn't a second chance. That's the real world, right? That's really how life works. So if I have an appointment with a client and I say to that client, we're going to have a presentation ready for you on Tuesday at 6 o'clock, put together your board of directors and we're going to come and do a presentation. And 6 o'clock on Tuesday comes, and I come in there and I put the thing down on their desk and I try and piecemeal the whole thing together because it's not finished. You lose the deal, guys. The game over. It's done. You don't get paid, right? So if you want to move from the reality of, you know, over here in the broke land, over here to the wealthy land, sometimes that really does happen. Sometimes you have to stay up all night to be able to do something if you want to get success, if you want to make 6 figures. I mean, heck, if you want to make an extra $500 a month, hallelujah, do whatever you want, right? But I think that it's important that all of us collectively as a team, right, need to have these things set in place, to have some congruency moving forward. Okay, some congruency moving forward as a team, because we are only as strong, guys, as our weakest link. Okay, this is fact in quantum physics. We are only as strong as our weakest link. So here's what happens in the military. Okay, if one person does not do what they're supposed to do, the whole group has to get down and do the whole group, not just the one guy. Everybody on the entire cavalry has to do push-ups because the one guy didn't do his homework, right? That's what I'm talking about here. So I can tell you this. If I didn't do my stuff, I got to fail, okay? If I showed up late for an appointment advertising agency, I was fired. That's real life. That's fact. So if you want to move from that reality to this reality, you got to make a decision, okay? Now, here's the other thing. If we put specific directions right in every single blog post that says, please complete your homework or don't show up, right? Because there's other people here that wanted to get on this panel that couldn't to discuss their work. that's actually finished, right? So we have to have an understanding, guys. Okay, it's only fair. It's only fair. Okay, if we set a rule, everybody completes the rule, or they don't come, right? Because there's other people that want to come that have actually done the homework. So for future, Betty, if you can please have that done, that would be really, really helpful to the whole team. Okay, Chad Turner.
Yo, what's up, Darren?
Chad Turner.
What's up, everyone?
Okay, so how can we see your vision board?
All right.
Okay.
See it?
Can you zoom in a little bit there, pal?
Yes.
Okay, so let's unmute now Tom and Jessica. Tom and Jessica.
Yeah, so, wow.
Okay, so a couple things. Number one, do you checkerboard rectangle pattern?
Yeah, there is a, it's not a perfect checkerboard, but there is a checkerboard pattern.
Okay. The part that I would say would be the biggest problem is, you know, straight up and down on the right next to rise, going straight down in a straight line. Same thing with the bottom section, with the Jeep, the next thing and the next thing. On the top, you've got one box, two boxes, and then three boxes with the jet. So, you know, the other thing is that your Jeep next to another Jeep is almost an identical size, and your you've got some perspective sort of challenges, because the watch and the ring are sort of in the same plane, but they're roughly the same size as the Bugatti, the watch and the Bugatti, if you put them lengthwise. So the brain doesn't know which one's further from the other one. Does that make sense?
What was that? It cut out a little bit.
Okay, if you take the
Can you hear me?
Rolex watch and you put it over top of the Bugatti, yeah, if you take the Rolex watch and you put it over top of the Bugatti, they're roughly about the same size, so the brain doesn't know which one to look at as being further distance away, right?
Okay.
Same thing with the Jeep next to the other Jeep. They're almost an identical size, so they're on the same plane distance. They're at the same, you know, the same distance from the screen, right? Make sense?
Yeah, but that still does, like, you know, has depth above the Jeeps.
You definitely
You see how
have some
far
depth
it
there,
goes?
pal, and I mean it's at an angle, so it's not straight on, so I can't fully, you know, see, but I can tell you that the sizing, the plane on the right is almost identical size to the boat on the left. The Bugatti and the plane are very close to a similar size, same as the Ferrari. So you've got the plane, the boat, the Ferrari, and the other thing. They're all the same size, so it's not giving it enough depth perception, right?
I see.
Make sense?
I see. Yeah, I see. And then I'm gonna do more blending with the lines as far as in different areas. You know, just a little bit of. I looked at it to where, as far as like in the bottom right, you know, where that columnar basalt is. The picture is actually bigger than that. So what I'm going to do is cut out a piece of the Jeep on the left and cut out a piece of the road and kind of, you know, just blend them together. And then I'm going to put more words, like, you know, the line where the rise is, you know, that long line there. I'll probably have like a bunch of different, you know, I have a bunch of words that I'll put to break up that line. If that makes sense.
Sounds good. No. Okay, who's up next?
Hey, Darren. Darren, I'm on my laptop now, so I can do share screen.
Okay.
If my computer will unfreeze.
Okay, what's going on? We're not getting.
I just clicked on it, but I'm on this laptop because it's really slow.
Oh, okay.
Still waiting on my other laptop to come back.
Computer's from 1989.
No, I just got this one on Amazon, but it's just slow. Okay.
Vic's got one going.
Okay, we're gonna come back to Jessica. It's a little slow here. Okay, Vic.
All right. Yep.
Hey. Can you hear me?
Yep. Okay. So let's pull Chad and Wes. Unmute if you can.
I immediately see the rectangle syndrome.
Okay, you're not sharing your screen there, Vic.
You should see it. You're not seeing it?
I see it.
Go share your screen, bro.
Yeah, I see it.
I see it.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, now it's back to Vic again. Vic, can you mute yourself out there because when you say something, it's not going into your screen. Okay. So my question is, Wes and Chad. Number one, is there checkerboard? Number two, is there any dimension to this at all?
Checkerboard, yes, immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And
Chad?
Yeah.
Can you see any dimension here? No, do you see any depth?
Really the only depth in that one nature shot with just, the goat and then the depth in the picture, but not from multiple pictures.
There's no three-dimension at all in this vision board, Vic. None. It's just checkerboard, 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 checkerboard.
I used shots that had lots of sky and horizon.
That's for the base, but and if they're one rectangle next to another rectangle next to another rectangle, you will not get a gateway into a reality, right? You can't walk right through into that reality. If you did, you get chopped up into square cubes. If you tried to walk into that reality and those were knives in between each one of those things, they would chop you up into little bits, right? Does that make sense to you, Vic, when I'm saying that? Because if it doesn't, then tell me. We can review it, right? Vic?
Yeah, I'm trying to visualize that. I guess I don't understand the depth piece.
Okay, I'm gonna show you right now so that you can get this. Okay. Okay.
Someone's got a TV on.
Okay, so where we go? I'm going to share my screen. registered for this, customizers?
I have. I'm in.
Okay. So this is probably one of the best three-dimensional vision boards that I've ever seen myself. You'll notice that how shapes aren't straight up and down lines. They're actual puzzle shapes, right? Okay, whoever's unmuted, can you mute? Because we're getting reverb back. Okay, if you'll notice, can you guys mute up, please? These trees, this is actually part of this picture, but because she's put the archway and cut out that, it actually looks like that's the parquet floor. But it's not, it's the other picture. Those two morph together totally, right? You can see here that there's a stream coming down
I get what
here.
you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
The car comes down from the stream, so the stream turns into the car. These rings, the distance between these rings and that horizon, that could be probably, I don't know, 50 miles to the edge of that horizon line, right? You can tell by these sizes that this is further ahead than this by the perspective, right? Same thing with the watch. From the distance from the watch to that skyline up here, I mean, that could be 100 miles from here to here. How far is it from this dinner table to that boat? That's a long way, right? How far is it from the tip of this boat to those mountains back there? That's called perspective. That's called 3 dimensions from here to here. Okay, make sense?
Yeah. I get it. So what I would do is cut it up a little bit and position it more so that there's objects that have a horizon line. There's like lines that are moving. There's like a flow between the radial arcs of a perspective instead of it being sort of a hodgepodge, of rectangles.
You just got brick, right? Okay. Who has not had a chance to share?
Thank you.
Nicola, did you take a picture of your vision board?
Yeah.
Can we see it?
Can you guys see
Are you
it?
sharing your screen? No.
Yeah. Oh.
No, we can't see anything.
Is it Nicola? Nicola, is that her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, give it a moment because sometimes it takes.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, it takes a few seconds based on your bandwidth. So.
Okay, so who do we got? Stacy and Sonia.
Yeah, I can't see it. It's not up on my screen.
Okay.
Well,
you can see it or you can't see it?
I can see it now.
Okay.
Do you want me to zoom in?
Sure, go ahead.
No, it looks really cool.
Let's make your, stretch the whole thing out. Well.
You can be honest, it's okay.
Well, I do see a little bit of that checkerboard going up there at the top, the two pieces that meet from left to right.
Okay.
And I see...
You could have hidden that line behind his hand all the way up and made it at an angle, and you wouldn't have had that effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could
Yeah.
the clouds behind his hand, and it would have morphed right from one reality to the other one to
Yeah.
connect instead of having a blocker. Okay.
Yeah. I needed more sky, but yeah.
Okay. Any input, Stacy?
I don't see too much going on, and I don't see a lot of nature.
Okay. Here's my input with it, is that I'm not really too sure, you know, how that is in any way related to success. Maybe I'm, you know, maybe I just, I don't know, maybe I'm just, you know, come from a different reality or something, but I'm not too sure what a guy with 8 arms has to do with anything to do with you having success. Is that some subliminal thing
No,
for
basically,
you, or?
the elements in there are things that I want to achieve. So the guy with the jacket is part of, like, I've got some fashion ideas, and so the multiple arms is basically just a higher level of quality in terms of fashion, if that
What I
makes
will put out
sense.
to you is either the vision board has to be way bigger or that guy has to be way smaller, because
Gotcha. Yeah.
literally taken over your entire vision board. And, you know, I'm not too sure if you're looking to get a car that is a salvage piece, but you've got a skeleton of a car on the left-hand side there, which doesn't make any sense to me. And then the other thing looks like you're working on a Monopoly game or something, or what, you want to develop a game?
Yeah, the skeleton car is basically me wanting to customize my own car at some point, so from the ground up. And the Monopoly, that's just graphic illustration elements, because I'm an artist and they're in there to remind me of all the projects that I want to accomplish, basically.
Okay. Well, my only comment is it really only looks like there's 2 pictures in the background on the whole top, 3/4 of it, and then 1 picture in the underneath that. They're blending together on the bottom, but you know, because that guy is so dominant on the entire thing. The only thing that I can really think of is this this octopus man, you know, that's sitting on a mountain. That's really really all that it's communicating. The other stuff is just completely drowned out by the octopus man.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
Make sense?
Yep, yep.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Good job, good job. Okay, so what I want for you guys to understand here is that success and failure in life in general starts with showing up, right? That's step 1. Show up, right? Step 2 is show up prepared, right? So, you know, my analogy of the situation with you know, being in the advertising industry, I had my own advertising agency, and if we had an appointment booked with a client, there's all these other factors that are not in your control, okay? And one of them is traffic, okay, to get from your place to their place. And a lot of times we would be presenting in a boardroom situation where we would have to do some setup, right? Set up a projector, set up, you know, some pamphlets and stuff around the boardroom table for their board of directors. It's a real formal presentation. When you're looking to close an account that's $250,000 or $500,000 or $1 million, you better have your shit together. Otherwise, right? That's really the truth. That's what happens in real life, guys, okay? Now, if you run your business in the same format that you would run a multi-million-dollar corporation, you will have success, right? If you run your business totally half-ass, you won't get the type of results that you're looking for, okay? So, you know, here's an example. If we have a team meeting and the meeting's at 6 o'clock, right? The meeting's not at 6:20, it's not at 6:30, it's not at 6:45, it's at 6. So if you aren't going to value the team, right? It's one thing if you try to get on and you can't get on. Okay, you couldn't get on. Watch it at earn25kpermonth.com. But if you don't have enough respect for all these team players that actually show up on time, they book it in their schedule. Some people show up 15 minutes early just so that they can get a spot on the panel. So what gives you the right to be able to cut into a meeting that's in progress because you just didn't decide to show up on time? Guys, that's not fair, right? It's not fair to the whole team that because you just didn't want to show up, or it wasn't a priority for you in your reality, or we should just all sit and wait for to show up to guide you in on the chariot. That's not fair. Okay, it's not fair to the team, and it's certainly not fair to me when I'm on a train of thought and you just decide, oh, I'm going to show up at 6:30. Sorry guys, yeah, I got caught behind. Sorry, I'm going to come in at 6:30. If you can't be on a panel on time, then don't show up, right? Because it's your business, but you start affecting all the rest of the people's business, and you certainly are affecting my business, okay? So if I'm trying to communicate a message to a whole group of people, and you just decide to randomly show up at 6:30 with music blaring on in the background, right? That's a problem, guys. It shows that not only you don't respect your own business, you don't respect every single person on this team, and you don't respect me as the person that's delivering the information and fair, okay? That's not fair. It's not fair, guys. So you got to start to take some ownership here. True ownership. If you're going to be a CEO of a multi-million-dollar corporation, you got to start running your business like a CEO. If you had $1 million deal that was going down, that you had to do a presentation for, would you stroll in at 6:30, right? Just freshly out of the shower with your hair all wet and everything else, and say, hey, we're sorry we're late, you know, we're ready to go now, though, right? We're ready to rock, right? So you got to start to think about that. You got to start to think about the situation that we were talking about, you know, testing and tweaking your results. If what you're doing isn't working, like, you know that I've had some people, I sent out an email saying, you know, about millionaire mentoring, and that, you know, on X Sunday nights we do this mentoring. If you're all in, we've got extra mentoring for Black Card members. And somebody who's already Black Card, who's already on the team, who already has access to all the millionaire mentoring, that never shows up, says, I'm interested, I want to be involved, and they've gotten every single email that we've ever put out. How do you figure? Tell me, how do you figure? Okay, so did you guys get some value from that explanation tonight? Can you see that better, Chad?
Yeah, I can see it a lot better. I went over a lot of the stuff last night, and I put 2 all-nighters in a row, going over the alpha formula, taking notes and everything, and then I went to your blog and watched. For anyone, if they haven't seen that video that you have, it's like about a 7-minute video on how to do the vision board. It's really helpful.
Cool. Tucker.
Yeah, I did. Again, I definitely see where I was off a little bit, and we'll be redoing another one here pretty soon. So.
Cool. Jessica.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I mean, my screen share is working now, but I can't, and my computer's just too slow. It won't open up the picture, so. But I did post it in the group. If you guys want to leave comments, let me know.
Cool.
Thank you.
Nicola.
Yeah, that was really helpful. Thanks. For my first hangout, it was good.
Cool. Well, welcome on board. It's good to see you here. Sonia.
Yeah, I got a lot out of it, for sure. I just want to say that for those of you that don't know, I've known Darren for about a good year now, and he's been telling everyone for so long to do these vision boards. And as you can see, this is my first stab at it, but as I was doing it and actually visualizing everything that I was doing, I mean, for the first time, I really, really saw the importance of it. I saw the importance of the vision board because as I was staring at it, I could literally, you know, start seeing all of the things that he had been telling us all along. And I just want to say thanks, Darren. It took me a little bit of time, but I definitely get the importance of having this vision board. So thank you.
Fantastic. And you know, here's the interesting thing that I wanted to share with you guys here is that your biggest struggle in this entire evolution is going to be you. It's going to be your failure, which is a tug of war, right? You know, your fear of your own power, because most people are actually scared of their own power because they're so powerful, okay? You can have the fear of your own power. You're going to have fear of being judged. What if I do something wrong? What if I get up on stage and everybody laughs, right? All that stuff is the tug of war between, you know, you really want the thing, well, you don't. You really want the thing, and you don't. And that's really what the surrender is really all about, is just stopping the fight and just going, I feel worthy. I love myself enough to stop this fight. I love myself enough to stop this struggle, right, of this tug of war that's going back and forth, back and forth. I surrender, right? So what I will tell you is that this formula that I've given to you guys, I'm not kidding you when I tell you this is the keys to universal abundance. But it only works if you do the 5 steps. Okay? It only works if you do the 5 steps. And I can't make you do the 5 steps. Like, let's say an example, you do your vision board and I go, you got checkerboard syndrome. And you go, oh, I already did that. I already did my vision board. I'm not doing it. Okay, well then don't do it. It's totally up to you. I mean, it's your business. It's your life. I'm just trying to help you through, get you through that gateway so that you can be the next success story, right? Because I'm happy to email everybody's success story when you've got a chunk thing that I can talk about, like your first $3,000 day, or you know, your whatever the thing is. Like my next thing that I'm going to be sending out is Mary Barnett has her first $3,000 day. That's our next team story, right? That's something that the whole team should be promoting, not just me, right? That's something that we as a team need to be proud of, right? Now, you can also add to that, since Millionaire Mentoring, Mary Barnett's business has doubled from the same time last year, doubled. So she's got twice as much business from going through Millionaire Mentoring, plus she had her first $3,000 day. She's on the verge of in between 2 realities and possible liftoff, but she's probably also going to face some, you know, this thing, right? Because it's in between the 2 realities. That's what you got to be okay with, to understand, is that you're going to get a test right here. You're either going to get pulled back, right? Or you're going to go up into liftoff. Now, Chad had a situation happen for him where he got one of his first tests, okay? So what happens is right when you break through, when you're ready for liftoff, right, you're going to get a test to see if you understand the rules of the game, to see if you even know that it's a game, okay? So what happened with that was Chad had a pass up to me, right? And that lady did a refund, right? So it was about a $2,500 hit for me, right? Now, I went right into my whole thing that I teach you guys. This is just a video game. It's just an illusion. The money's not gone. right? It's just my test. It's my test to see if I'm going to go down that rabbit hole or if I'm going to rise above, right, and realize I can do instant manifestation right now because the money's already there. Instant, right? I had like a $5,000 day or $8,000 day or something like that. I can't remember. But I had my best week ever. It was almost 13 grand, right? So even with that, so even though my income was an illusionary temporary drop down, it was a slingshot that went, right? Once I went, it's okay, it's just an illusion. I'm just in a video game. I'm okay. The money's still there. It's not taken away. Right? This is my test. Right back up. Right? So what I want to be able to do for you guys is share this knowledge with you. Because I feel that as a leader, if I give you the tools to help you break through these barriers, right? Just as an example, knowing that your human brain is programmed to self-destruct and being okay with it is a massive, massive breakthrough. If I tell you your human brain is programmed to self-destruct and you don't believe me, or it's happening to you and you feel guilty for it because you're actually sabotaging your own success, but once you just go, I'm okay with that. I just know that I got to keep on feeding some positivity in here, but I'm okay with that now, right? Just having that piece of information, knowing as an example that there's two types of people that are low-hanging fruit. They're in a state of transition or they're in a breaking point, right? Just knowing that information can save somebody 3 to 5 years of pain and suffering in this industry. So what I want to be able to do is give you as much as I can to make your journey easier, so that you can get into liftoff a lot faster. Stacy, any closing thoughts?
No, I love the assignments. I love looking at my vision board. It gives me such a great feeling. I'm looking forward to tweaking it. I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Cool. Tom Selly. Tom Selly.
Back to the drawing board.
Okay, no Photoshop there, buddy. Okay, scissors and X-Acto knife.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Vic.
Yeah, hey Darren. I have Jessica's vision board on my screen if we want to share that. But I really appreciate. I just want to thank you for your input. I would call that the vision board as a first attempt, and I'm gonna have something much improved now that I understand the concept. Cool. If you want, I'd be happy to share Jessica's board on my screen.
Yeah, we can do that before we wrap up. Sure.
Sure. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. Alrighty. Are you seeing it?
Is this the one that says 100 million in the center? No. Okay, there we go. Okay, so who do we got?
It's a little blurry because it was from Facebook and it was kind of a distance shot. I did the best that I could to clean it up, but I think you can see it.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's unmute Wes and Tucker.
First thing I notice is the rectangular effect, the checkerboard.
Okay, Tucker?
Yeah, I definitely see rectangular real quick, and not a lot of 3D, unfortunately.
Here's my input on this, Jessica, is that you basically, the pictures themselves have depth, but there's nothing in the imagery that's creating 3 dimensions on top of it, that's floating. So your eyes are still seeing a flat surface. So you have all of your type that's floating on one surface, and the car's on the same plane as adventure. It might be a little bit behind it, but not much. Discover, because of the fact that's the way that is, it almost makes the car look flat. Because Discover is flat and Adventure is flat, so it now flattens the car to not even make the car look like it's three-dimensional anymore. Did you notice how that happens?
Yeah. I need to go get different magazines.
Yeah. You know, the other thing is that the fonts, all of your words are not exactly the same size, but they're close enough that they just look almost the same size. So if I put traffic lights next to the finish is just the beginning, it's almost the same size. If I put getting to know you,
Yeah, Darren, you broke up there for a minute. Hello?
I can't hear him. He's like on a steel right now. I can't hear a thing from him.
Okay.
I thought it was me. No, I can hear you. I think Darren's connection.
Yeah, it's Darren's connection. Just something I wanted to share that I just thought that's really kind of cool that I love about this exercise, which I think it's such an amazing experience, is it's sort of like almost magical how we're sort of almost like activating our reticular activating system in our brain, attracting words from magazines that we had nothing to do with to exemplify that inner desire that we have of what we want to create. And I think that the perspective is great, and it totally makes sense to do the whole 3D effect, but I just want to acknowledge everyone because it's so cool to see that that's your, like, these are your inner realms that's important to you. This is what you're drawn to. It's really an amazing exercise. You know, I've never actually done this. I've heard about this exercise for years. This is my first time ever doing it. And I just want to thank Darren for, inspiring me, and I'm a stubborn mule. I'm going to cancel that. I used to be a stubborn mule to actually do something like this. So just wanted to throw that out there because I'm really in awe of what I saw, and I just think, this looks great. I think Jessica and I both suffer from box mentality, but this is our first shot. I think the way to fix this is you just take scissors and you cut around the elements, and so there's more of a 3D effect,
Yeah, just try to cover up the lines.
Yeah, you crop it, and then I think trying different things out,
Close cropping.
Yeah.
And also, like when you get certain items you cut out, if you cut out some of the, I used an X-Acto knife and cut out like the inside of certain stuff, like, so say like that big ring I had, I literally cut, there was dark space in the hole, and I used an X-Acto knife and cut that out.
Well, if you see the one on the top that I did, I had to cut out every little inside piece of that for the roadway.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're right. It's about, cutting out a whole bunch of stuff and just, start placing it. Yeah, I see your ring. Okay.
I see also that's like a metaphor for life. We got
the roadway up in the top. I had to cut out every little.
Cut away the things that don't work to reveal what lies beneath.
Yeah.
There's so many metaphorical layers to this. I think it's really amazing, and I've never heard anyone really, teach vision boarding quite the way that Darren does. I think it's unique. It's really, really amazing. I think almost like when you change your vision board, you change that internal who you are. You change that internal picture of what you desire and what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fortunately for me, my vision board is not firmly fixed, so I'm just going to go in there and just do a round 2. It's like software; you can go back and rewrite it.
Back on. I would love some tips. Hopefully, he can get back on how to get, rid of the lines when you have all of those, different backgrounds, coming together. like here. Where did it go? Okay. You know how when he was talking about the vertical lines, I'm trying to figure out how do you blend them, together. What do you do to blend all of those together?
You said you want to make them more of like a puzzle piece. So instead of it being, even if it's a curved line, you want to make it to where it's dramatically curved. Or, I mean, literally like it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle that's coming together.
Well, okay, so like if you look, okay, let me see if I can bring mine back up. Okay, you see these lines? Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, you see these lines here? All of these lines? I can't even think of what to do to, bring some, because I have these are all different backgrounds, I can't even think of what to do right now.
Well,
blend these.
And that's,
well, I think that's kind of what he was talking about too, is not using necessarily, you're not using necessarily, like he said, the tear, like Wes was saying in the video, tear and then cut it out. And he's saying, like, for example, you might want to meld them together, where maybe this particular one right above one goal, to the left of one goal, maybe put that in a different spot that might blend with some of the other colors a little bit better, or put it out to the edge, or kind of like you said, cover them up with something that makes it go through. By the way, I did get a message from Darren, and he basically just said that he lost his connection, and just to wrap it up for the day. So, for the record, unless you guys have anything else,
No, I'm good. So I guess everybody have a good one. This was great.
Have a good night.
I appreciate
All right, good night.
guys.
Thanks for the
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Thank y'all.
Bye. Thank you.
Good seeing you. Hey, it's you and me.
Uh-oh. My computer's so slow I can't even log off. That's terrible.
No, that's cool. You should tilt your camera down a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to... Oh.
Yeah, so thank you, Darren. We love you. Live long and prosper.